Okay, I want to make a bit of a TLDR on this whole sidewalk displacement thing because there's a bunch of little details here, um, and I wanted all of it to be kind of in one place. So if you paid this is just a normal L target here. I want you to look at Link's feet. So Link's feet right now, his right foot is forward, his left foot is back, and if we sort of frame advance through um, his normal sidewalk animation. It'll take a few frames, like 7 or 8 or so, but it'll eventually get to this sort of pose here where you see like his left foot is all the way behind his right foot and sort of like he sort of has to like walk over himself to get through this step, right? And this is just how the animation works. Um, Thank you. I love that shield bash. Yeah, so you can see like, you get 13 speed, not really anything to write home about. Um, but something weird happens when you pull out an item like the boomerang. So if we got the boomerang out and we just walk right for 1 frame, then you notice that like Link's animation, he skips like 8 frames of animation or something like that. Um, right, his left foot just moved all the way behind his right foot in a single frame. And if we let go of we hold neutral, now we're going to jump immediately right back to the normal standing animation, right? And we can keep doing this. So if we hold right again, now it's going to happen again where Link's left foot is going to move all the way behind his right foot. But if you look on the right there, we just got 45 speed, 45.9 speed from basically nowhere. Um, and that's more than enough to do a displacement clip to get into a wall. Um, so that's sort of the brunt of what we're doing. But there's some sort of it's sort of tricky because if we hold neutral again and then we do it again, we're gonna get a different speed, right? We just got 32, and then if we do it again, we're gonna get less. And so we can sort of just sort of cycle through speeds here, and you can see sometimes it's really not very, it's not very much, and then sometimes it's like really massive jumps, where like I think in this case we're gonna get like, yeah, you can sort of see we cycle through a whole bunch of different speeds. Um, and so the trick here is to sort of like how do we get the right amount of speed on the right frame when we want it? Um, so as far as I can tell, there's two things that affect how fast, how much speed you're going to get, how much displacement. First thing is just like how much, what is your normal walking speed? So right, this is normal, right? Full holding control stick in all the way to the notch. But we could hold halfway on the control stick, right? So like 30 or so. And then if we did that, right, we're gonna get a slower sidewalk, right? Um, and we can still do these displacements even with even holding halfway, right? We can still do the same thing, but we're gonna get less displacement generally. So it's just gonna send us less, which is fairly self-explanatory. Um, This, though, is actually, for some reason, I don't know why, it's easier than we were doing before. So if we hold the control stick all the way, we have to do 3 frame perfect inputs in a row. We have to hold right stick for 1 frame, hold neutral for the next frame, and then hold right stick again the frame after. It can't be anything else. So we can't do hold right for 2 frames, hold neutral, hold right, doesn't work. We can't, hold right for 1 frame, hold stick for neutral for 2, and then hold right, doesn't work. It has to be um, full right at 1 frame, full neutral the next frame, full right the next frame to get the jump. But for whatever reason, if you're only holding halfway on the control stick, then all you have to do is hold right for 2 frames, and then you'll get the jump. Um, And this works with the iron boots too. So if you have the iron boots out, um, it's the same thing, but you can just hold all the way to the right, where all you have to do to get the big jump is just hold for 2 frames. And you can still get full like max speed displacement if what you do is you hold right for 1 frame, and then you hold about halfway the second frame, like that, right? So let's see if I can get. a bit of a bigger jump there to just demonstrate. Um, let's see. It's not playing nice right now. Let's see. Let's do it this way. Okay, one frame, then the next frame. Still get a big jump. Um, yeah, so that's probably slightly faster for most task applications, so depending on the setup. And it maybe is slightly easier RTA. Like this is already like not very RTA viable, but it does mean that like if you flick in just the right way, you can sort of see sometimes if you flick just right, you can sort of end up getting these. Yeah, you can see I just got one, right? Like a pretty big teleport. The chances of you getting, not just um, not just actually hitting the displacement, but also like doing it with the right speed and the right frame is on NTA is just like I'll be very surprised if I see that happen, but um, maybe it's possible. Um, so okay, the other big thing which I've been sort of glossing over is every time I've been doing this, I've been getting like a different speed, right? I just got 38 there, but if I do it again, I get 32, and then if I do it like this time, I just get 1.7, right? So what's up with that? And I believe what's up with that is Link's idle animation. So, Link is sort of bobbing left and right here and then sort of up and down. And if we wait for one where like Link is sort of like sitting down, but he's going to the left here, then if we do it, we should get a fairly big jump. And if we wait for one where he's sort of like on the right here, yeah, we'll get less. So as far as I know, I might be wrong, but as far as I know, it's based on Link's idle animation. And if we hit the right frame of the animation, we get the same speed every time. So the easiest way to do this is to let go of left target. Um, and Link's animation has been reset. And so now if I press and hold L for the right amount of frames, I'm going to hold it for 12 frames here. Right, so that was 12. And then I do it. I get 37.9. And so if I do that again, right, all the way, let go of L, 1, 2, and then again, 37.9, same speed, right? And this is repeatable. Um, so that's a way that you can sort of like precisely get the right speed. But you don't have, well, you do have to do this in the sense that you do have to wait for the right, whatever frame, animation frame you need to wait for it. But you don't need to do like this specific setup. You can also just say let go of else completely. And I think it works pretty much the same where if we just start holding and we hold for, you know, we don't need to do exactly that. We still get the same speed. Um, and I think this animation goes through walk cycles too. So I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff, you know, if you wanted to optimize a task, there's all sorts of ways that you could make sure you are on the right animation frame just exactly when you needed the frame. But I'm sure that's tricky to optimize, but it's possible. Um, Yeah, I guess the other thing to say is this absolutely does not work going to the left. Like it does not work going to the left at all. So it works going to the right. It does not work going to the left. You see we get like 0 0.6, 0 0.9, right? Basically nothing. It's not happening. Unless you pull out the claw shot. And you notice like with the claw shot, Link's left foot is forward now instead of his right foot. He swaps foot. He swaps feet. Um, and now going right doesn't work, but going left does. Same thing. Um, yeah, that's fun. Um, so that's I think the only other thing is that I believe slopes affect things. So if you're on a slope, um, or if you're going uphill or downhill, it can vary the speed by a bit. So it's easier when it's on flat ground, although you'll still get big displacements even if you're going uphill or going downhill. Um, as far as why this works, um, Maddie was looking at a something a bit earlier with the ball and chain, where if the way the ball and chain's walking animation works, essentially every time you take a step, the game has to if it depends on how how if you the bigger step that you take, the game has to offset that big step with a certain amount of speed to sort of keep your feet in line, right? To sort of make the animation look somewhat normal. And I don't know that that's what's happening here, but it seems similar, right? If we're doing this, right? If we're doing a big jump like this, the game has to sort of like match Link's speed to what his animation is doing to a certain extent. So because his animation is jumping around like this, and you can see like the bigger jumps that I'm taking are the ones where my feet are like more splayed out like that. So the wider they are, the bigger the jump. Um, I believe that's how it works. I'm not sure at all that this is like everything possible here. There's potentially more to mess with, but um, but yeah, I don't really like there'd be a lot that had to go right to make this RTA viable. Um, you not only need to do frame perfect analog stick movements, but you also have to wait for a specific amount of frames. And of course, like there's a lot of frames here that will get you more than 35 speed or whatever you need to do. I mean, I think there's something like, you know, 5 or 6 different possible frames that'll give you above that sort of speed limit. But of course, you don't just need a speed limit. You need, for whatever position setup you've got, you need the specific amount of speed that'll get you on the seam. So it still needs to be a specific frame that you need to hit in order to get the jump that you're looking for. Um, and so unless something really drastically changes here, that's about it's probably going to be a task only trick for the foreseeable future. Um, but a really cool one, and I'm excited to see what else might be possible. Yeah, thank you. Hope that made sense.